Hey guys, we're back for some more Standard, currently Mythic, rank 105. I wanted to kind of go over some of the changes here for the Boros Humans deck. So, I was wrong. You need Brutal Cathar in this deck, or at least I found out that I needed it. So, as much as I wanted to have a deck where there was no removal and you just kind of skated to victory, Brutal Cathar is just necessary in this kind of deck, I think. So basically I kind of shifted things around, and if there was room, I would love to have Enduring Bond Ward in this deck, but there just isn't room. So I made a couple shifts. I ended up cutting the Bond Wardens, putting in 4 Brutal Cathars. I shaved 1 Knight Errant of Eos, just since we have a fairly bloated 3-drop slot here, and I replaced it with 1 copy of Inti, just because I really do like this ability. It is a unique, it's a unique ability for this deck, and that really gives it a lot of power. So I wanted to get Inti back into the deck, and I also wanted to make sure we had 4 copies of Thalia, because this is just, there's some matches where if you haven't got Thalia, you just get board wipe and you lose. So having access to 4 Thalias, I think, really is actually necessary. And 4 Brutal Cathars also really helps against all the aggro matchups. It helps against even control. I mean, when they have like tokens with, it can still do work there. So I think it's a necessary card in the deck. So all that said, we're still running 22 sources for land. Nothing changed here, so this is the only kind of change main deck. If you wanted to, you could probably run sort of a more kind of lower to the ground version of this deck without, or making room for like the Bond Wardens, maybe even throwing in some recruitment officers. What you would cut to get there, you'd have to make some very tough cuts if you wanted to go that direction. I think, honestly, you'd probably end up having to cut like Kellen and Adeline, which I wouldn't recommend because they're both amazing cards. But then you'd have like your top-end Recruiter, Knight Errant of Eos, and Brutal Cathar to just sort of handle stuff, and then you'd have all of your kind of go-wide stuff. And that's a different deck. So this is kind of the middle road here with Kellen and Adeline for value. So take it for what you will, but with that said, let's get into some games. It's kind of trying to find that edge between having enough 1-drops to kind of get things going and having enough like solid threats to kind of carry the mid to late game. But anyways, this is a great opening hand. Very happy to keep. So we'll lead out here with Veteran, and then hoping to go turn 2 Kellen. And I can try to see if we can do like the full control trick with Inti and Kellen and sort of live the dream. Here, we definitely want to trade with the Bat if they allow us to. This, I think, is the nasty Orzhov deck that has like infinite life gain and it's just a total nightmare. So we'll see, but okay, I guess they're happy to trade. Maybe we should have played this first. I didn't actually expect them to block, but so now we could go for Adeline just to set that up. We could Brutal Cathar their guy. We could also Inti here, which is really fun. So I'm going to try to do the full control, see if I can get it to work, to stack the triggers. So I think one of my viewers has done this successfully, so if I screw it up, my apologies, but we'll see. For some reason, it's reordering the triggers there. I don't know if there's some way that I can... If anybody knows how to do this so that they order in the opposite order, so I can do Kellen first and then Inti, that would be so much better. But at any rate, what am I going to toss here? I think... Man, I just want everything. I want all of this. Might be dangerous, but I think we maybe toss the Brukathar here. I guess we could toss land, but there's no guarantee we'll get another land. Yeah, maybe we should toss land, because we could always go Coppercoat next turn if we don't draw land. Let's leave that on top for sure, because we'll need that next turn. Okay, this is the kind of get there plan with Thrill Seeker to throw everything at your face. Okay, now let's just get Adeline going. So they just kind of do this over and over, I'm assuming. I guess if we Cathar, we force their hand, so we can at least attack and not have them like block and then blow us out. So maybe we Cathar here. It's not ideal. Okay, they can just do it again here. They'll make it a 3/3 and throw it at one of our guys so they can like block and then kill something. But I guess we just get the triggers going since it's sort of gonna happen anyways. No sense in showing our hand. Although I suppose if they're gonna make it a 3/3, we should probably do Vanguard first. And again, still don't really want to discard anything here. Okay, so I think we have to, because they can throw everything at us. Well, Brukathar, I guess we can wait for it to flip and then reinforcements next turn to block what we need to. So I think we might just be dead here, unfortunately, since they can just throw everything at us, and we can, I guess, chump some of the damage, but it's going to spill through. So I guess if we like block here, so otherwise we just take 4, 8, and then 12, or 5, 10, 15. So if we block like this to stop as much of the damage as possible, let's see, what if we... If we block here, stop 3, and then we take another 5. If they pump it again, we'll take a total of 7 plus 5 is 12. Yeah, that's not going to work. This way, I think we're just barely surviving. Oh, wait a second. They can both sacrifice. Yeah, never mind. We're just screwed. That's a nasty deck. I think I've run into that deck once before. With the Voldaren Thrillseeker, definitely gets quite a bit nastier. Okay, this hand looks good. The one thing with this new change for the deck, the Knight Errants are way less kind of explosive, which is unfortunate. So ultimately, I don't know if it's a great change, but I just needed to have the access to Brutal Cathars again, I think. So here I think we probably want to go reinforcements into Knight Errant. Like if we draw land, I guess we get there, but I think we need to do it this way just to ensure. Okay, we got the land. So this way we have enough extra for Thalia. And this is great. We can pick up a Cathar and another Imidians. So I think we just Cathar this turn, because we can't push lethal yet. And then I think we can take another 6. I don't think they'll have lethal next turn. I think so we just shove. This way if we draw land, we can go like double Imidians, which is really sweet. But yeah, it's like kind of like matches like this where you just need the Brutal Cathar. Okay, so they're gonna get it back. Or never mind, they don't have the mana for it, thank God. And this, I think, is lethal. Let's see, let's tap it intelligently. So they block like here and here, Then they take 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Yeah, they're dead. I guess they could have, like... Never mind, they couldn't have Chomp. It's a sorcery. So I think that's going to do it. Good. Oh yeah, because we have Thalia, so there's nothing they can do. Should be 1 over lethal. So yeah, so I just keep coming back to Brutal Cathar. I think you do need it in this deck. Maybe you don't need 4 copies, but I think you kind of want 4 copies. By the way, if you're a new viewer here, thank you so much for visiting my channel. I really appreciate you guys. And if you're a returning viewer, again, thank you guys so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. And I'm hoping that the budget version of the deck helped. So the deck list for the current version and the budget list are both in the description. So check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But I think it is pretty nice. Like, the budget version is all commons and uncommons. Again, if you haven't seen it, and I think it definitely helps. So since we don't have like 1-drop, 1-drop, I think let's just go veteran here to start. You can try to like thread in Warden a little bit later. Okay, this is another like turn 3 get there deck. So we 100% want Thalia here to stop his nonsense. Or slow down the nonsense. Now I think we just go for Knight Errant and then set up for a big swing. Because like we're not pushing with Thalia super effectively there. And this just gets more bodies on the table. Okay, definitely want Brutal Cathar and Imidanes here. If he leaves us an opening, he probably won't. He'll have like Lauren's Escape and all kinds of other nonsense, but this does sort of like tie his hand a little bit. So now he's kind of forced to go Lauren's Escape. And we're getting to a point where we can pretty soon set up for Imidanes. Yeah, I guess let's try the Brutal Cathar, and then we'll force him to use Lauren's Escape here. And then I think we maybe start using Warden. Otherwise, we could just like set up with Adeline. I don't think it's all that different, though. Here's probably Lauren's Escape. Yeah, there's the escape. And I think we do want the land because then we can go Copper Coat into Imidanes, which is super fun. So let's see. So I guess like, so he's swinging for 10 here. If we take it, next turn we go Copper Coat into Imidanes, push with everything. He blocks one of them, probably the Knight Errant, and then we push for, let's see, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 18. Not quite lethal. Yuck. Can get very close, but I think we actually don't want to take this huge chunk of life. So I think we do maybe just take the damage here. Or, sorry, we don't take the damage here. We could fly overhead with Warden. Let's see, we'll have 3. No, actually, never mind. Maybe we throw Warden under the bus here. So I think we need the life. So I think instead we go Copper Coat plus Adeline this turn. We push with everybody. He blocks Knight Errant and he takes 10. Or he takes 8, down to 12. I think we're actually fine with that. He might block Dahlia though. Should be problematic. 26 is a decent amount for him to get to, though. I think... Yeah, I think we push with everybody. So he's actually, I think he's taking 10 here, so... He blocks Dahlia. I guess if he has Angel Fire or whatever it's called, we're in trouble. And I think that's 3 mana, so maybe it was right to hold Dahlia back, because he's kind of going off here a little bit. But I don't think he's going to be able to do 27. I guess if he has Monstrous Rage... That gets him to 24. 26 if he scries, or if he connives. So I think we just take this, because I think we don't die, even if it's Monstrous Rage. Now we just go Recruiter. And I think this is enough. Plus he has some way to gain life. Actually, maybe we shouldn't block copper. I was thinking maybe we don't need to attack with Copper Coat here because that would pick off a whole bunch of damage. But I think it's mostly irrelevant. Yeah. Yeah, games with that deck is always kind of a nail biter to see how far they can go. I think maybe in hindsight, maybe not attacking with the Thalia and doing a little bit less damage would have been better, because then if he had whatever the red and white gain life, trample, vigilance nonsense, 3 mana spell is, if he had that in his hand, that would have been trouble. I think it's Angel Fire Ignition, I want to say. Also, if you guys see like better plays that I don't see, you know, certainly put them in the comments, because, you know, this is intended to help everybody. Hopefully, you know, hopefully my plays are right, but I certainly make mistakes, and I want this to be kind of a resource so that people can learn as much as possible. Also, if you are having success with this deck, I would love to hear about it. Share it in the comments. I know other people would love to hear about it too, so that'd be great. Yeah, this hand is great. We've got mana, all the colors, and we've got a nice sort of 1, 2, 3. Again, I don't have, because I haven't got Resolute Reinforcements in hand, I'll start with Lunarch Veteran here. And that actually worked out really well. Now we can go Veteran plus Warden and then start using the ability. That feels pretty good. I think we just keep that on top. I guess Thalia shuts down its attack with Officer here, so it's probably a little better. But I mean, we're going to be just giving this thing extra tokens anyways, so maybe Reinforcements is even better. And I do want access to another land, so that's fine. That way we'll have access to Brutal Cathar. This way we can still block his 2-1 if he wants to attack. I'm not even sure if we want to Brutal Cathar his Cathar right now. Like, getting Warden back is okay, but I feel like there are better targets. We could just go Copper Coat and push, and that feels pretty good. I guess if we like Cathar here, we get hit this back, and then we can like double pump. I mean, that's pretty good too. But if he has like a second Cathar, it's kind of awkward. So I think I'm just going to go with Copper Coat here instead. just for the reason that he could have like a second Cathar waiting in the wings, and we don't really need this back. Cavalier is kind of interesting. Okay, this is kind of a beating. Now we can just Cathar his Knight Errant. And what else did he get? He got Copper Coat. Okay, sure. And then just swing for a lot. Guess we can put him to 2. That feels pretty good. So he's just trying to build up his Anim Pakal, understandably. Okay, that was a great draw. So he's got 6 blockers, we have 6 attackers, so we can just do Warden plus Thalia to start getting there. And at 27, I think we can survive, unless he has like another Brutal Cathar in hand. I think I'm safe tapping one more time here. Only since we're at 27. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, he had the second Brutal Cathar, which is a beating. That was rough. 3, 6, 8. So we'll have 1 extra creature than him. Never mind. He's starting to get extra guys now. So I think if it's our turn and we flip Cathar, then we get to take the thing first. We can also send in our veterans to get stuff in the air. That's actually something I should have thought of, actually. And I think we can survive it and attack still. So let's get reinforcements in. Actually, let's attack with both and see what they do. So then we just got to survive this one attack. Which I think we can, unless they draw some like unbelievable gas. As long as he doesn't have like another Cathar. Okay, I think as long as we survive the attack, we are okay here. It's gonna get a little bit dicey, but yeah. Okay, Thalia blocks Copper Coat. 1/1 on the 5/5. Reinforcements. I guess on a Cathar. And Copper Coat on another Cathar. And I guess our Brutal Cathar can block. How much are we taking right now? So we're taking 4, 8, 11, 14. Yeah, we're fine. Whew. It's all about those on-the-board tricks. Just have to remember that I can flip my Lunarch Veterans. I think I could have done it a turn earlier, I just didn't see it, but still worked out in time. Although I don't think we could have waited one more turn, so that was kind of a close thing. Alright, so thanks guys for watching, really appreciate it. Let's take a look at the stats. Alright, we are currently 62% win rate, 97 wins, and 59 losses. So there's been a couple more games here. Again, unfortunately, most of my games are on my laptop, which are not logged on this platform. So that's, maybe they'll fix it in the future, but at any rate. So we're still kind of holding steady here to a little over 40% against Mono Red. We just need to get some more games under our belt. I think that the matchup has gotten better, but I guess time will tell. Other matchups here are feeling really good. We're doing pretty well against Mono White. Positive matchups here against both Esper and Blue-White Control. And then a little bit better against the mirror match. Maybe we just have like a slightly more tuned list. Selesnya seems to be really good. Orzhov a little bit positive. A little bit positive there against like the Picnic Ruiner, red-green, or like Dinosaur deck. And Mono Blue is 6-0, so doing great there. Rakdos Anvil is about 67% win rate. Mono Green 5-0. Mono Black 4-0. Jund is pretty rough, and then sort of a lot of the domain slash kind of like more grindy value, go over the top type stuff are a bit rough. But we're doing great against Simic Artifacts and also against Dimir. And then I guess against Mardu and Bant. So yeah, overall very happy with the deck. I highly recommend this iteration of it. I think that kind of with the changes, since we have like a much more kind of like heavy 3-drop slot now that we've got Brutal Cathar back in, that does kind of merit shaving one of the Knight Errants, just so you don't have like those really, really clunky hands with like all 3-drops. And I'm happy that Inti's back in the deck. So at any rate, let me know what you guys think, and thank you so much for watching again. We'll see you tomorrow.